much can a seller contribute to my closing costs if I'm planning to buy a home and I want to ask the seller to contribute to help buy down my rate? That's a great question. And in today's video, I'm going to answer that for you. My name is Grzenia. I'm a local realtor here in Phoenix. And if you're moving or have questions about the market, give me a call. So you're planning to buy a home and rates are still hovering around 8%. So you've decided that you're going to negotiate your offer with the seller and ask them for concessions to contribute to your closing costs so you can buy down your rate to maybe 4, 5, or 6% with the plans to refinance in a year or two when the rates come down, assuming they come down. That's what everybody's hoping for. So depending on the type of mortgage you qualify for or you're using, each scenario you're going to be able to ask the seller for a different amount of concessions. So whether it's conventional, FHA, or a VA, and depending on if you're putting 5, 10, or 20% down, you can ask the seller to contribute more towards your closing costs and essentially use those concessions to buy down your rate. So I'm going to break this down for you briefly, just so you know when you go to buy a home, you can ask for this much in concessions from the seller if you're using this type of mortgage and you're putting this much money down. So if you're buying a home with a conventional mortgage and it's your primary or second home and you're putting less than 10% down, you can ask the seller for a max of 3% in concessions. If you're buying a home with a conventional loan and it's a primary or second and you're putting 10 to 25% down, you can ask the seller for 6% in seller concessions. If you're buying a home with a conventional loan and it's your primary or second home and you're putting more than 25% down, you can ask the seller for 9% in seller concessions. So if you're buying a primary or second home and you're using a conventional loan, I think where it gets a little interesting is if you're planning to put 10% down, you can only ask for 3% in concessions. But let's say you save up a little bit more and now you can put 11% down. Now you can ask for 6% in seller concessions. So it helps to offset that a little bit. Now, if you're buying an investment property with a conventional loan and you're putting 20% down, you can ask for 6% seller concessions. Now, if you're buying your primary home using an FHA loan and you're putting 3.5% or more down, you can ask for 6% in seller concessions. And if you're buying a primary using a VA loan, you can ask for 4% in seller concessions. The best case scenario is to pay a little bit more for the property and then get some of that money back in concessions to buy down your rate and have a lower monthly payment. Now, if you have any questions about how this works, or you're thinking about making a move, or just curious about the market, give me a call, text, email. I'm available 24/7. I'd love to chat with you, learn a little bit more about your plans, see how I can help. I appreciate you checking out this video. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.